Jada Pinkett Smith, Will Smith, a.k.a. the Fresh Prince, a.k.a. the Fresh Cuck, did the Red Table Talk video podcast thing. And they talk about this alleged affair with August Alsina. Now, this is like a highlight, I guess. This isn't the whole thing. And the last, minute and a half of some guy talking about it. But I want to break this down a little bit, because this is pretty shocking. Now, this all started with this young fellow, August Alsina, talking about how he, was with Jada and Will knew about it, whatever. This is years ago. Now, Will Smith and Jada have had this kind of conspiracy for a while, that they were an open relationship, that Big Willie knew about it, that, they were swingers, that, they did this all the time. So to hear this news is not too surprising, but this is this is a really weird process for Will Smith to go through. And we're going to watch that live on stream.
Friendship with August. And we actually became really, really good friends.
Good friends is a very interesting way of putting this. Because what she meant to say was sexual partners. Now let's just step back and think about what Will Smith's going through here. Will Smith, whether they're not really a couple or they are really a couple or whatever, Will Smith is this person's husband. He agrees to go on her talk show that will be edited and published to the world. And he agrees to sit down and do this. This has got to be the most miserable thing for Will Smith. What he's getting out of this, I have absolutely no idea. This is brutal for Will Smith.
And it all started with him just needing some help. Me.
This is not the look of a person who believes a lot what she's saying. Like her saying, oh man, it just started with him needing a little bit of help. It's like, okay, I'm with you there. But how does it go from needing a little bit of help to a relationship? That's what Will Smith's asking right here.
Wanting to help his health, his mental state.
Because for me, that was the thing when Aug first came around, he was really sick.
He was really sick, yeah.
And the outpouring for him from our family was initially about his health.
Again, outpouring, very interesting choice of words. For what we know right now in the first 35 seconds, this is a young man who came to the Smith household, sick, in a very vulnerable state apparently, looking for some help. Family gives an outpouring of support, and Jada Pinkett Smith decides that she's going to play IRL Bumble.
Yeah. And we found all those different resources, to help pull them through. And from there, you and I were going through a very difficult time.
Yeah.
And we decided...
I was done with your ass.
Yeah, you kicked me to the...
Now this is Big Willie ain't happy. Big Willie fighting back. Let's go, Will.
Done with you.
Yeah.
Marriages have that, though. Marriages have that.
Yeah, we broke up.
We decided that we were going to separate for a period of time, and you go figure out how to make yourself happy, and I'll figure out how to make myself happy.
Well, at that particular point in time, it was indefinite.
Yeah, I really felt like we could be over.
We were over.
And then what did you do, Jada?
Well, I think...
Will is not happy about whatever Jada did.
From there, as time went on, I got into a different kind of entanglement with August. One thing I want to get clear about and clean up, one of the things that was kind of swirling in the press about you giving permission, which is... the only person that can give permission in that particular circumstance is myself.
Yes.
Not what you want to hear if you're Will Smith. You do not want to hear this. You do not want to hear Jada's defense being that she gave herself permission. Does this look like the face of a guy Who wants to hear that?
Exactly.
Yeah. But what August was probably trying to communicate, because I could actually see how he would perceive it as permission, because we were separated amicably.
Yeah.
And I think he also wanted to make it clear that he's not a homewrecker, which he's not.
I think so. I mean, because this is your red table, and you like brought yourself to the red table. I think you need to say clearly what happened.
As far as what?
You and I decided we were going to take our space, and what happened.
Yeah, and then I got into an entanglement with August. That's what I said.
An entanglement?
Yes.
This is so weird. Can you imagine? Imagine just like you and your high school girlfriend or college girlfriend or whatever. Just anything. Imagine you two handling a situation like this on a live podcast. I mean, this is like some Jake Paul, Tana Mongeau stuff right here. Like, I mean, Will Smith had to get dressed up for this. Will Smith had to get dressed. He, like, what do you do? Hey, Will, you want to go grab some lunch? Sorry, man, I can't. I'm doing a TV show. Oh, what show are you on? You on The View? Are you going on Hollywood Squares? What are you doing? Are you going on like a Food Network? No, I'm actually going down to my basement to do a red table talk with Jada about how she was sleeping with August Alsina when we broke up. What? Why are you doing that? I have no idea why I'm doing that. Is it being filmed? Yes, it's being filmed. And this, what are you getting out of it? Heartbreak. Hollywood is weird, period. Yeah, Hollywood. Yeah, we'll get to that. We'll get to the idea of Hollywood. But this is a good example of what goes on.
Yes.
A relationship.
Yes, it was a relationship. Absolutely. I was in a lot of pain, and I was very broken. Now, in the process of that relationship, I definitely realized that you can't find happiness outside of yourself. And luckily enough, you and I were also going through a process of healing in a much different manner. I would definitely say we did everything that we could to get away from each other, only to realize that that wasn't possible.
So we come into the red table. So I'm in the Jada position right now. So you know, you during that time launched into an interaction with August. What do you feel like you were looking for?
I just wanted to feel good.
Not good. This is the face of not good. It's interesting because, like, you know, it's pretty odd. Like, I'm not saying Jada did anything wrong right here, to be honest. Like, Jada, you know, I mean, Jada just kind of was single, I guess, in a way, and just kind of did whatever she wanted, which really, I mean, you know, whatever. But it's just weird. Like, I don't understand what either one of them is getting from this, you know? I don't see, because Jada's not being put in a super positive light. It's just like she did what she wanted to do, and it happened, and whatever. And then Will's just kind of like, yeah, like you can tell during this whole conversation, Will is not a huge fan of this. Like, Will's not saying like, oh yeah, this was great for you. Will's like, hey, this kind of sucked. This was kind of not awesome.
It had been so long since I felt good.
That can't feel good.
And it was really a joy to just help heal somebody.
Another very weird term, to help heal somebody.
Yeah.
I think that has a lot to do with my codependency, which is another thing that I had to learn to break in this cycle. Just that idea of needing to fix and being drawn to people that need help, whether it's your health or whether it's your...
It seems like it's just for ratings. Yeah, I mean, like here's my whole thought, right? Is that they had to have already had this conversation. You would think. I mean, you would think that at some point they have had this conversation. So they're kind of just asking and saying whatever for this video. And that makes it super weird.
Addictions. There's something about that childhood trauma that feels as though it can be fixed through fixing people. versus fixing me.
Yeah.
And I think that whole process with Og really showed me that and taught me that. And I'm really grateful for that lesson.
I feel like that husband, like I'm with you at the press conference. I'm that husband. Now I got to be with you at the press conference while you like tell the world about your transgressions.
Well,
Like I love my baby. I'm gonna stand by my baby no matter what.
Why? Will, why? You are Will Smith. You fight aliens. You were in Wild Wild West. You were in, 7 pounds. Why are you doing this to us? Why are you doing this to you? That's the worst shirt I've ever seen.
Oh, I definitely understand why it would look that way or feel that way, but I actually don't look at it as a transgression at all. Through that particular journey, I learned so much about myself and was able to really confront a lot of emotional immaturity, emotional insecurity, and I was really able to do some really deep healing.
Look, I'm not saying that none of that's true, but all I'm saying is when she says stuff like that journey, the healing, whatever, she's just talking about her and some young fella having a relationship. She didn't go to a cave in Peru. She didn't go live with monks for 6 months and practice meditation and Tai Chi. She went to Nobu and watched Netflix with some 22-year-old.
And as I came through and started to realize certain things about you and I, he decided to break all communication with me,
Right.
which was totally understandable.
Right.
And I let that be and hadn't talked to him since.
No.
So it is a little weird that all this stuff is coming out now, since this was
Yeah, because for me this was years ago, right? So the fact that it's
Like we said, this was like 4 years ago. So could you imagine Will Smith, the Fresh Prince, this guy? Can you imagine? It's like, all right, Will, what are we talking about? All right, Jada, what are we talking about? We're talking about the August relationship. The one from 4 years ago? Yes. Didn't we already talk about that? Yes. But we're gonna talk about it and then put it on Facebook and YouTube. Please, can we not?
coming up now, and I think it could feel weird for people that we're laughing and talking about it, but
it happened so long ago.
And our experiences of working through it, fighting through it, talking through it, therapizing through it. I think that the why now is weird.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I say it's been a huge healing of my life, and just what I had to confront and discover.
Yeah.
About myself, the ugly truths and the beauty.
No beauty.
So it was something that I felt like wasn't really ready to be discussed because it hadn't been that healing, because he hasn't wanted to, Og and I haven't talked in so long, you know what I mean? So I don't know, this all seemed very strange.
Yes, very strange.
But I'm grateful for the journey that you and I have had together.
I'm not.
Because I feel like there are a lot of...
No, Will Smith is not either. That face is not a grateful face. Let's take a look at that.
Together.
Does this look like a grateful face to you? Does this look like the face of a guy who's grateful for a journey that includes some 20-year-old feller sleeping with his wife? Does this look like a grateful guy?
Because I feel...
Nope, sure doesn't. This does not look like the face of someone that's grateful. This is not that.
I feel like there are a lot of couples that go through those periods.
Yeah.
And a lot of couples that have to separate and think it's over. And, the one thing I'll say about you and I is that there's never been secrets.
Right.
Well, maybe,
We came together young, and we were both broken in our own ways.
Broken in his own way, global superstar Will Smith on top of the world, playing in Men in Black, however many. Grammy-winning artist, superstar, triple threat, king of the universe.
And to be able to make mistakes without the fear of losing your family is so critical.
Yeah. It's the idea of any relationship and trying to get to deeper understanding of love is going to be forged in fire.
Yeah.
There's no way around it.
Yeah.
And I
Forged in fire. Relationship, 20-something-year-old.
think that one of the things that I'm deeply grateful in this whole process between you and I is that we have really gotten to that new place
Yes.
of unconditional love.
Because I wasn't sure I was ever going to speak to you again.
I know.
There's my boy.
Like,
Let's
the
go.
fact that I'm speaking to you again is a miracle.
I would agree. I would agree.
No, but it ain't for the weak at heart. There's just certain things that you have to go through, and it's like...
And I wish, I wish that wasn't the case. I do. I wish that wasn't the case.
I sure wish it could be all magic and miracles.
Yeah. You got to...
To go back to what Shah said about Hollywood being weird, this is, I think, what we're looking at right here. I think this is pretty much just like, Will Smith is Will Smith. Jada Pinkett Smith is Jada Pinkett Smith. They probably had their kids, had their marriage, had their moments, had their life. They probably fell out of love. And they were probably just like, look, we can just we can continue to live our lives, and you do whatever you want, and we'll see what happens. And I think that's what they did. Like, Will looks like he's pissed about all that stuff, but he also looks like it's like they're both kind of just like, look, whatever happened. Who gives a shit? We're both whatever, late 50s, however old they are. I mean, we're past it all. Who cares? You live in your wing of the house. I live in my wing of the house. We don't have to see each other if we don't want to. We'll do the red table talk. Who cares? That's what I think's going on here. I think we're looking at, it's like, I don't want to say that they're out of love or they're not into each other or they're in an open relationship, but I think in Hollywood this happens a lot. It's like, hey, can we just save face? Can we just save face and, act like nothing's wrong? Can we just chill for the cameras, for the paparazzi? Sure. We'll just chill. We'll just whatever for the paparazzi, and then we'll move on. Now, move on in this situation is a red table talk, but I digress. Men in Black 3 wasn't bad. I actually think I might have saw that. I think I saw like the first 3. And they weren't bad. I love the Men in Black movies. I think they're awesome. I'm one of the guys who think they're pretty sweet. I know they're not for everybody, but I actually do enjoy the Men in Black.